If you want to start being smarter with your money, I am going over some amazing tips coming up about how you can start doing investing even for beginners. You don't want to miss this. Stay tuned. How do I know when I'm ready to join a big group coaching mastermind of some sort? So really, I wanted to be in a place of my business where I was definitely a lot more advanced. I wasn't just doing it from the very beginning, from scratch, learning those basic steps. I wanted to be at a place where if I'm going to make investment that is of this size, so we're talking tens of thousands of dollars, that I was going to get the most out of this investment. I will never, ever invest in something in my business that I do not see where I can get that return as quickly as possible on it. So I definitely, as I've mentioned in previous calls, I've signed up with business coaches and put out a fair amount of investment there, but with different people that had different strengths and different things that they could offer me, but it wasn't putting all my money in one basket, so to speak. So when I first started investing in business coaching, all that I wanted to do was get my feet wet. Like the podcast was probably one of the big first investments that I made, because the podcast and the website, the maximizebusiness.ca website, all kind of came together with the very same person. So I actually pre-recorded 15 episodes of the podcast before we launched it. And I think we launched it now maybe 2.5 years ago, maybe even more. I have no idea. So that was my very first investment. And that was an investment where this was just a labor of love. It was something that I knew I wanted to do. I knew it was going to be expensive. I knew that in the long run, it was going to be very profitable, which it now has become this year for the first year. But up until then, I was just constantly putting money out every single month to get the shows up, to keep the website running, to get the show notes made and everything else. So when I started doing the podcast, that's when I started implementing and wanting to put together a course. So I knew that in order for you guys to benefit as quickly as you possibly could, I wanted to find a resource that I could create, knowing that when we graduate from school, we have next to zero business acumen. And I understand the financial investment that it can be depending on how long you've been in school up until the point you start doing your extra certifications. Going through naturopathic college is definitely not inexpensive. And when you graduate from whatever school you graduated from, regardless, you have no idea how to make that investment back. And you're now having to put more money out into starting your brick and mortar, or to start your website, or to start your branding and get people actually exchanging money for service. So I knew that there was a huge deficit in what people were graduating, at least the naturopathic college, from in the deficit with regards to your business knowledge and how to actually put things together. And even the course, I sat on that idea for over a year, and I wanted to make sure that I had implemented all of the systems in my own business before I started teaching you guys. And I went through a course building program. I wrote out my script. Like, I was on our wedding anniversary weekend away with my husband. We went to a beautiful golf resort up north. And while he was out golfing on his own, I was literally sitting in the back of our little cottage thing in one of those Muskoka chairs, typing away my script on my laptop. Just putting all of my ideas down of everything that I wanted to put into all the modules. And then eventually, once that script was written, I started recording the modules. And it was August of 2016 that we actually launched the Maximize Your Clinic course with the modules and everything else to literally walk you through how to start your business, grow your business, and systemize your business. And I never wanted that to kind of infiltrate into the podcast. I always wanted the podcast to be more about you guys. And the goal was to reach out to you and inspire you and give you little nuggets that you can take away and take action from. And every single show that I do, I am learning just as much as you are. And I'm sure you'll hear that as I'm asking questions, or you'll even hear me be like, oh, I didn't know that, So, this is much a beautiful thing for me as it is for you. And so once I got the course going, I was like, now I'm ready to invest in people that know how I can start executing this. And I invested in 2 business coaches in one time frame, actually. I was going to say in 1 year, but almost at once. One was Lori Kennedy. The other was Samantha Gladish. Both of which people that I'd known and had kind of made relationships with prior, but I knew if I wanted to get somewhere fast, because I didn't want to waste any more time, I needed to talk to people who knew what they were doing. So once I got the course going, I launched it on my own. I did a beta launch. And so those people that I launched it to most of them are still highly active in the program, which is amazing. And I'm seeing their businesses flourish, which is so awesome. And I've launched it, I think, 6 times since then. My best launch was when I hired Stephanie Joanne, who's in the Build Your Business Empire, or Build Your Empire, BYE. She was offering a 90-day coaching program, or maybe it was even a 60-day coaching program. And she helped me completely redo my sales page, rewrite my emails, make my sales copy a lot more effective. Again, these were the things that I just didn't have time to learn or fiddle around with. I booked when I was going to do the launch. I'm always holding myself to the utmost self-integrity when it comes to my projects. So I was just like, I'm just going to throw another $3,000 at this so that I can have an amazing launch.